Hello, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural, the first ever Just an Insight podcast. That's right, episode number 1. My name is Tim Birkbeck. I am a writer. I am a lover of films, music, and wrestling. But most importantly of all, I am your body and your vehicle through this podcast. This podcast aims to bring you interviews and chats with bands and wrestlers from far and wide, as well as having discussions on films and major wrestling events. We christened the show with a chat with some of my very close friends in the band called Svalbard. If you're not aware from Svalbard, they are a full-piece band from Bristol, playing sort of hardcore punk sort of stuff. They're really hard to describe what their type of music is. I think they even struggle themselves. But in my opinion, they are one of the hottest and probably best bands in the UK right now. They were kind enough to take me out on their recent tour of mainland Europe with the Saddest Landscape, and you will hear from the beginning of this little chat that I have with them. Due to a stupid joke, I end up calling them the Laddest Sandscape. But anyway, I sat down with them at 1 o'clock in the morning after their show in Paris, which was absolutely awesome, and they were kind enough to be my guinea pigs for this first ever Just an Insight podcast. So I sat down with 3/4 of the band. Unfortunately, vocalist and guitarist Serena was unable to join the tour due to work commitments. But the other 3 guys were, as I say, kind enough to sit down with me, have a brief chat, and just discuss things that's going on with the band. All things Svalbard, basically. So I hope you enjoy episode 1, and I will see you on the other side. Cool, right. Sat in a hotel room with the guys from Svalbard, Liam, Adam and Mark. Currently on tour with I nearly said the Laddest Sandscape. The Saddest Landscape. For you guys, how do you think the tour's been so far?
Oh, fantastic, I think.
Yeah,
turnout's been great, and people at the shows have been lovely. Food's been awesome.
The gigs have been amazing. The driving's been shit.
Yeah, the guys have been nice enough to take me along, and Liam and Mark Skur, who's been filling in for Serena, have been absolute champions doing the driving. It's been absolutely horrible. Any shows so far, the particular standouts?
Prague.
Any reason?
Just really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
a really good vibe.
Adam, any for you?
I've liked all of them. I think they've all been really good. I don't know. Each show's got ups and downs and stuff like that. So, and again, just days and days of continually playing. And then sitting in a band. It's kind of hard to pick it apart. But I think by the end of the tour, I'll sort of sit down and could sort of think about it.
Mark, anyone for you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Prague as well. I think it's just a very nice atmosphere there, and the sound was great as well.
And basically, because my website is called Just an Insight, so the main thing that I wanted to start with is obviously an insight into how you guys started as a band. So if you could just give us a sort of a brief history.
So I was playing in another band. What?
I was like, well, the band started in May last year.
When Adam joined the band.
Yeah. So I was doing another band from 2002 to 2010, which I got sick of, which is very much more in the metalcore, I guess, category.
Yeah. For people who want to know, it's Burning Skies.
Don't check it out. We're rubbish.
Face will be melted off.
Yeah, it's too fast. It's just your brain won't be able to comprehend the speed. 3,000 BPM. I was reaching my 30s, and when I started that band, I was 22 at the time, and really into aggressive music. I still am, but I kind of, during the time that I was in that band, my horizons expanded, I guess. I started liking a lot more different styles of music, and I wanted to do something which was more encapsulating of my entire music taste rather than just one particular thing. So when that band finished, I started writing some songs, and I think I spoke to Mark first about drumming, and I knew Mark through the band that he was doing, which was also a metalcore band, because I don't know why it was. We all come from like a metalcore background, apart from Adam, who comes from a folk.
It's a Nordic folk.
So yeah, I asked Mark if he wanted to drum on the tracks that I've been doing, and he said yeah. And then I asked Serena if she wanted to do the guitar parts, and she was like yeah. And then we spoke to my friend Ben, who was at the time in a band called True Valiant and is now in Venom Prison. And he wanted to do bass, and he was yeah. And he asked his friend Mike if he wanted to do vocals. That's how the first incarnation of the band started, and that lasted for around a year, which is when we did the first 7-inch. We did a tour with a band from Glasgow called Notebooks, and then we didn't really do much after that. I think Ben and Mikey left, and we searched for another singer. We couldn't really find anyone we were really happy with, so me and Serena decided that we'd try and do the vocals ourselves. Kind of out of necessity, really, more than anything else. I haven't really done vocals before, and I wasn't particularly keen to do so.
Yeah.
But you know, I wanted to be out playing shows, and this was the way we were going to be able to do it, was to just rely on ourselves and stop looking for other people and just try and do it. And over time, I think I gradually started liking doing vocals, and I mean, it has its drawbacks. It's frustrating, you know, when your voice goes on tour. It's really frustrating. Yeah. And I hate I love singing live. I hate recording vocals.
Yeah.
I really hate it. But yeah, so that's how we ended up with sort of this lineup, and we've had like 6 different bass players. So
yeah.
The core of the band was always me, Serena, and Mark.
Yeah.
And now we went for a few bass players, and I think we found someone, without inflating his ego too much, who fits in very nicely.
Got a bass, and that's what we're saying.
Yeah, I think we'll keep you for a bit longer. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's our endearing idiot.
He is.
Yeah.
But for people who don't know Adam, he's probably one of the nicest guys you meet, but he's also an absolute pain in the ass at the same time. But
I'm fine on my own.
I like myself.
Yeah.
And kind of obviously when we first met was obviously when you did the tour with Direwolves. Was that kind of like the first sort of run of shows that you did with that core, with you and Serena doing vocals?
Done a couple of shows, haven't we? Like just one-offs and stuff.
Yeah, that was the first tour, though, wasn't it?
That was the first tour. Yeah, that was when we just recorded the Gone Tomorrow 10-inch, and we were speaking to Direwolves about bringing them over to the UK. So we were doing that, and we just managed to get it pressed in time for the tour. And you were the first person to agree to a date.
Was I?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Which was very nice, you know, because we were basically a completely unknown band at that point. So, you know, it's really, you know, it's nice that there's people out there who who support, you know, bands who are wanting to do stuff. You know, now we're on tour with the Saddest Landscape, and we're doing 5 dates with Oathbreaker at the end of the month. So, you know, it's doing stuff that I never thought it would do. But it's down to, you know, without sounding schmaltzy, people like you who want to, you know, take the time to support the scene and stuff, and that's you know, it's great.
And because obviously when you did that sort of, you said like quite relatively unknown, but that kind of, did you see that as kind of a tour that kind of put you like a foot in the door into sort of, because as you said you were coming from like metal backgrounds mostly, but did that kind of give you a foot into like a more hardcore scene? And
I mean, there's always been a bit of crossover with metal stuff. It's all kind of interlinked, isn't it? All the cores. I mean, for the Direwolves tour, the things that probably changed for us were, it was the first time we met Alex Fitzpatrick, because we played with Friso, who obviously put out our album Through Holy Raw. We met a few really, a few people on that tour who we still know now really well. So it's definitely like, I don't know, I wouldn't say it was a foot in the door as such, but just kind of, we made friends with a lot of people who are on the scene on that tour, which is really cool,
And because obviously, like, I've known you guys since then, and you've been sort of building your reputation through just graft and hard work. But one of the things that you do a lot is tour, and obviously you do tours in the UK, do tours in Europe. So how do you? I know obviously you work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
You've got a full-time job. Mark's got a full-time job. Serena's got a full-time job and does other bits as well. So how do you do you sort of set time apart to tour, or is it just as and when it's convenient?
I think to start with, we just chose the dates, didn't we, and worked with it that way.
If it's DIY stuff, then we choose a period where we'd like to go away, so around a release or something, and then we'll book up the dates and go away. And then it'll be other things like when we're asked to do this, or we'll try and work things out. Like, for example, Mark didn't actually have the time off.
Oh, really?
No, I forgot. Keep forgetting to tell work that I'm going away. So I think I told him the week before this tour that I was going to be away for 9 days. And I don't have any holiday left, so I just take it as unpaid.
Oh, no. Do you not get like at the beginning of the year then?
No, it renews in like May or something.
Oh shit, that's very much.
Yeah. But it's I'm always going to do it.
Yeah.
If I had to step aside from the work and do another job, it would be a bit of a shame, but I'm prepared to do that. For being able to tour and stuff.
Yeah, it's just we're not a young band at all. Oh, I say that it's just me.
Adam's getting
Adam's old as well. Yeah.
You're as old as you feel.
You feel pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, don't, not there.
This leg feels like it's about 80. Yeah. So we don't have the comforts of like a lot of young bands will be living at home.
Yeah.
They don't have responsibilities and they can go off and tour whenever they want. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm quite happy with it. We have responsibilities and bills to pay, so it's kind of finding that balance between living in the real world and doing this, which is
I think that's difficult sometimes, as this tour proves.
Yeah,
Serena unable to get time off work, but that happens sometimes, and we're just lucky that we're still able to do it. With Mark and Nicholas.
I mean, I can't remember exactly when we met Mark. When it was, we toured with Mine.
Yeah.
That was the first time. Was it the first time we met him?
Yeah, I think so, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I mean,
maybe you played a few shows with Mine
beforehand,
on and off, but then booked a tour with them.
But yeah, I mean, it's things like in this scene. I think, just the European scene in general. All the bands we've toured with have been really nice, and for 2 people to take time out of work and stuff to come and help us on a band that they're not emotionally invested in. I mean, I like to think they're emotionally invested in our friendships and stuff, but that kind of astonishes me that they're willing to do that for us. We're not paying them any money. Give them money for their petrol and stuff, and we pay for Nicholas to fly home from Antwerp to Berlin. It's pretty incredible that a guy we toured with who lives in Berlin was willing to come out with us for 10 days and do the vocals. You don't get many people that would do that.
And I think that's kind of rather nicely. Obviously, with the sort of hardcore DIY scene, whatever you want to call it, especially in the UK, we're quite a small sort of knit group, but everyone kind of knows everyone in some shape or form, don't they?
Yeah.
But I think obviously you've proven it that people will go out their way to do stuff. Like obviously, I've come along just for the hell of it, but like you're all my friends. But like you've previously had like Red help you out from Let It Die, and like I was speaking to Mark and he said you're going to do like the same to like potentially fill in for Group of Man.
Well, I hadn't actually agreed to it yet.
But like Do you feel that because of like, I wouldn't like to say that you guys are getting bigger, but like you've kind of established yourself now, so that people are more inclined to help you, or is it just a case that you've built those relationships that you feel, if needs to be that something happened again, that you could turn to Mark again or someone else to say, look, do you mind helping us out?
Yeah, they're great people. You know? I think that makes it really amazing that we can meet these people and then ask them to help us out, and in return as well, because I played for Group of Man. Was it just one show?
It was one show in Bristol, yeah.
But it was just nice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And return the favour sort of thing. But yeah, everyone just loves playing and making music in this scene, so I think that helps.
And obviously you guys have done, as I said, shows in the UK, shows in Europe, and obviously this is the first time I've ever been over to Europe for like gigs and stuff, and I've seen firsthand how cool the turnouts have been. But from speaking to you guys before and other people, they've always said that Europe is way better than the UK. Why do you think that is?
Well, firstly, the UK is still in Europe.
Oh, alright. If you're going to get technical. But like, okay, mainland.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a pet peeve.
No,
I'm going to Europe. I'm like, well, you're in Europe.
Okay, over to the mainland. But like, I've been to some of your shows across the UK, and they've still been pretty busy.
Yeah.
But I think the people that I've met in these shows have been, I don't know, not necessarily more receptive, but I don't know, maybe more appreciative. Is that how you guys kind of say it?
Yeah, I do. I do personally. I think, yeah, there's just more. It's like a bigger part of their lives, I guess. Well,
I think
that sounds weird.
There's a lifestyle that's associated with a lot of the music, and
Sorry.
That was Liam's shoe, by the way.
and I think that maybe there's the opportunity to live that lifestyle is potentially easier in certain places.
And the UK's a bit behind with things like vegan.
Yeah, supporting the arts in general is just.
Supporting the arts definitely. Yeah, it's not really doing its bit. I don't think.
Yeah,
which is a shame.
It's because the UK, the people in power in the UK feel like they don't need to, because the UK music market is such a big export already. Whereas you can go to somewhere like Sweden where that will support smaller bands with kind of grants and
I think the UK don't really, well, people that could help in the UK don't see being in a band as a worthwhile thing.
Yeah,
it should be a hobby or something, but in other places in mainland it's treated as something that is important for people to do, so they help with that.
And I think people over here care more about their local venues,
Yeah.
Have a lot of kind of squat venues and youth clubs and things, and it's harder to have those kind of venues in the UK because of the laws and stuff. But still, in Bristol there's some awesome little places like the Old England and the Griffin and the Red Lion and things, and
there's some great places around the country, aren't there?
Nottingham. I'm stuck on a name. I think Nottingham's kind of a weird one because Nottingham seems really good, and I think because Balti has put so much effort into creating such an awesome space and putting on gigs and being really fair and like just an all-round decent guy. People really want to support him. And that's why he raised the money to because I think people in the UK see the effort some people make, but I think the people who make that sort of effort are kind of few and far between, whereas over here I think there's more, the scenes are bigger here basically, so people make more of an effort. Like today there's two guys drove from Biarritz in the southwest of France to Paris for the show. It's like, I remember people doing that in the late 90s and stuff, in the early 2000s in the UK, but no one travels for shows anymore.
No.
Not many people.
No.
Adam does.
I was going to say, I think I do
Do you?
to an extent, but Adam's just laughing.
You seem like the kind of guy who would.
I probably would, but I don't know. It's just a hard thing to do. Like, I think traveling for shows, and especially it's like when it's like, even if you're just sort of a supporter of like the music scene and just there's bands that you want to see playing in other parts of the country, like it's a big commitment sort of thing that, you know, you end up taking out you know, your whole weekend just to go sort of travel. I think I, you know, did it a few times, but like you're travelling, you maybe need to stay like find accommodation and things like that in different places, and it's still a commitment.
Yeah.
So I guess everyone plays their part.
And I know, Liam, we've spoken about this before, but obviously from you guys played HRX was quite a big sort of stage, and you've played some bigger venues around the UK and I'm assuming in Europe as well. But you've also still kind of kept to that DIY route, playing, as you say, like squats, smaller venues. Have you got any preference to which you prefer, and have you got like any aspirations to play bigger venues, or do you prefer the smaller intimate shows?
I like both. I like both when the vibe is good. That's what it's, you know, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to play big soulless venues, and the bigger places we've played haven't been those. Like HRX is a big, you know, it's a dome, so it's a big place. You can fit a good couple of hundred people in there. But it's just a really nice atmosphere all day, and I think that's the key to it. I think it's easier to get that atmosphere in a smaller venue, but the gigs that we have played recently, which have been bigger ones like Damnation and stuff, they felt really good. I think there's no preference on the size, it's just the vibe, I think. So and that was Adam's second gig.
What, Damnation? Oh no, HRX was, yeah. Ever.
I should really start counting the school assemblies that, you know, playing guitar and.
Oh yeah, okay.
School assemblies?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
16 years before that was.
Oh right, okay, I'm with you now.
Played the guitar in front of.
I just got really confused as to what you meant by school assemblies. And kind of off the sort of HRX things, obviously Alex Holyrood kind of put out your full length and put out obviously the discography. Don't make that gesture.
Sorry. They can't see it. I'm
going to say it. Basically, Leo. I said,
No,
all right, okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. So, right, Alex put out your full length and the discography, and as you said, you met him on the tour you did with Direwolves.
Yeah.
So, how did the kind of working relationship, quote unquote, kind of come about to sort of put out the records?
Well, we self-released the first two things, and then Andre from Tangle Talk, and Andre does Tangle Talk, put out the Flightless Bird 7-inch and the split we did with Pariso. So basically we kind of just became friends with Alex and the rest of Pariso through playing. You know, we played the first shows together, and we kind of played a few more shows together. We went on tour on the mainland for I don't think it was only a couple of days, wasn't it? But
yeah, about 5 days or
Yeah.
something. And then we released the split soon after that.
Yeah.
Or did the split record with
Yeah.
That was good fun.
And then Andre was originally going to put out the album, but then went travelling. So Alex said he'd like to do it. That's how that came about. And then Through Love in Germany had done a split with Pariso as well. So they did the album because it's just a bit of a no-brainer. And then after the first press, Corey from Halo Flies contacted us, because I think he'd heard us. I wanted to do the second pressing with Alex and Through Love.
Because you're on the third pressing of it now, aren't you? Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So with obviously doing a full length is quite a sort of commitment to do. So for you guys, obviously, like from when I've known you from the beginning, obviously you did a couple of 7 inches and a 10-inch.
Yeah.
To put a full length out, was it quite a sort of daunting task? And was it, how's the kind of, I know it's been a while now that it's been out, but the initial sort of reception, were you kind of surprised at how well it was perceived and how well it's still doing now?
Yeah, I mean, sold out. First pressing sold out in a week.
Yeah, been very lucky with the response. Couldn't have asked for more, really. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can just keep that going with the next record.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think we're quite fussy writers, and we take quite a while. Sometimes sometimes quite quick. Sometimes it takes a while to write a song. So it can be a kind of slow and frustrating process. Plus, we had Zach, who was in Bastions, playing for us when we were writing the album.
Yes.
Yeah. But he left about a month or two before we recorded it. So we wrote a couple more songs just after he left. So we actually recorded the album without a bass player at all.
Yeah, because didn't you record some of the...
I recorded most of the bass, apart
Yeah.
from one bit. I was having on Perspective, there's a little drum pattern happening in one of the sections, and Lewis decided that I was taking too long to record it, so he just grabbed the bass off me, recorded it really quickly.
I didn't realise that.
Didn't you when you left?
No, I wasn't there for the bass parts.
Oh yeah, so recording the album as well was just me in Southampton for the whole time. Mark came down to do his drums and then left, and then Serena came down to hear guitars and vocals, but I was there for the whole time, so by the end I was a little bit, because if you've never been to the ranch, it's on the outskirts of Southampton.
You get a bit of cabin fever as well.
Oh yeah, totally.
Awesome place though, man. And Lewis is brilliant, isn't he?
He's
Just
a
the
pretty
nicest person.
awful human. He's got a lovely dog, so that makes it for it.
I was going to say, I think recently all I've seen on his Instagram posts is from recording the Wolves is just them playing with his dogs, not actually doing any
I think
work.
that's the only reason anyone goes to this still. I think he realised he had to up his game.
So and got
he's
some
a little
cool
dog,
dogs. You kind of touched upon it then, obviously, like your writing process. Obviously, I know Serena does majority of the lyrics.
Which is all the lyrics.
Okay,
yeah.
all the lyrics. But generally, what's kind of like your sort of writing process for a song? And because obviously with you splitting vocals, how do you decide who kind of takes what part, or does it just kind of fit naturally?
No, Serena just decides which bit she's doing, which bits I'm doing.
So you're basically told what to do.
Yeah, I'm told what to do in that respect. We have kind of little areas where, so I guess I'm in charge of riffs, I guess. Like, I'll come up with riffs and sort of try and fashion them into a song. Serena will come up with some riffs as well. Yeah, usually we'll kind of bring the riffs on. I usually throw away about probably 60% of everything I write. And Serena's, I'm very fussy. Serena's a lot freer with her riffing.
Okay.
So those kind of get amalgamated into the pot, and then we'll kind of come up with a structure, and then Mark will work on his drums. Mark's also very fussy about his beats. So eventually we kind of end up with a song. Serena just does Serena's the least fussy, and she'll just come up with leads, but she's amazing at doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's generally quite quick, isn't it?
Yeah,
In the practice room, she'll
Yeah.
write a
whereas me and Mark will be
lead.
thinking about things outside of practice, coming back with little changes. She'll just write a lead, and that's it. Yeah, that's done. And then she'll go away, and she writes lyrics all the time anyway. So she'll go through her books of lyrics and decide on which ones seem to fit,
Yeah.
and kind of fashion them into so they fit the song. And then she works on the structure of the lyrics, and then tells me what to do.
Okay. So, from your perspective, then, because obviously Serena's not here,
Yeah.
are there any lyrics that you particularly really enjoyed, like singing?
I love all the lyrics.
Yeah?
They're amazing. Yeah.
Is there no like, particular one song that you've like every time you play it, you're like, I fucking love doing this song?
Literally every single song she's written lyrics for.
Okay.
I think Open the Cage. I think the new split with Total Sleep. I think she's had that herself lyrically.
Yeah.
I think she's really got a finger on the pulse when it comes to writing lyrics. Yeah.
And then Adam, as you're sitting there quite quietly, obviously the split with Tidal Sleep was the first sort of stuff that you done recorded. So
Yeah.
how was it kind of for you filling the bass hole?
Yeah, I guess it was quite daunting.
Adam's bass hole.
God. Quite daunting. I guess I don't really know what to expect. I had a decent idea of like how the song we were looking to write went. But then again, it's like once you get actually into the studio and like things start being recorded, and it's just like little changes being made here and there, and just to get sort of a final product that I'm sort of happy with. So yeah, it was just quite having to like learn it one way and then change things out. It was pretty fun actually. It was surprising. It was just like finding out how the process sort of works, and that's what a lot of it's been since we joined the band, is just trying to understand and like learn about how everything works, and also doing that in such a way that you don't get in the way.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so easy to just be the person sort of bumbling around and causing absolute chaos, like but completely unintentionally.
Yeah.
You know, so even trying to be helpful, you can be sort of throwing a spanner in the works. So.
Oh, you nailed it, man.
Yeah.
For first go in the studio.
Yeah, it's a pretty surreal experience, to be honest, to hear yourself recorded.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Adam as well is because we were looking for a bass player, and we met Adam first at Fluff, and realised he was living in Bristol and was friends with some people we knew as well. We kind of started hanging out, watching brilliant films like Adam Chaplin, and then we were thinking about a new bass player, and I was like, I wonder if, because the thing is as well is it's always more about having a group of people who get on well.
Yeah.
Because when you're spending hours and hours in a van together and on tour, you're going to fall out. It happens, and it's it's falling out with people that you then want to not have fallen out with.
Yeah.
Make it right, and people you want to spend time with, and rather than someone who's technically proficient at their instrument, I think it's more important to have a group of people who get on well. And, all we need to do is we have the bass backing track and Adam. No, but I mean, it literally leaps and bounds. Adam played guitar before. He sent me a couple of videos of him playing seahorses.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I used to play 16 years ago.
Yeah. And you know, even though he hasn't had much experience of doing band stuff,
Yeah.
I think he's just taken it in stride.
Well, to put this into perspective, obviously the first time I properly met Adam was my first show with the Divorcee, and we were both absolute nervous wrecks, I think, that's fair to say. But seeing you like on these shows now,
I met you before that.
yeah,
Your,
Cheers Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers Fest.
Um,
Well, I was just had to watch everything, like all the bands that you
Yeah.
got on. It was amazing.
but yeah, seeing you like now, obviously Liam said come on like leaps and bounds, and obviously like killing it every night. So it's cool to see you kind of fit into the Svalbard sort of pattern, so to say. But kind of with like genre wise, something that you guys, well, people always maybe find something difficult for you guys to fit into like a pigeonhole, so to say, and you always get put on to sort of tours with like mixed bands. Like obviously you recently went on a tour with Meagher's Murder, who are just heavy as hell. You're now on tour with The Saddest Landscape, who are emo as hell. You're going to be going on tour with Oathbreaker, who are just kind of just nuts and really good. So yeah, like do you think that that's kind of good that you don't fit a specific hole, that you can do these awesome tours with random mixed bands?
I mean, that's the reason I got fed up with the old band, was because we were just playing with the same band all the time. I wanted to do something which is a bit broader.
Yeah, it makes watching all these other bands amazing. You know, so generally we'll play a show first, and then we get to watch someone like Meagher's Murder, or Saddest Landscape, and then Oathbreaker next week. And I'd go watch those shows anyway. You know? So it's nice to see a mix of bands, and very enjoyable.
I think the direction a lot of good bands now are like mixing up genres and like crossing over in different areas, and you sort of witness some really good. I guess like you see some really good things come out of it, and it keeps you interested, and I'm always sort of looking for stuff where it like crosses genres, and just tends to be that's the way things go now. So
yeah, and we were saying in the van earlier, there's quite a mix on Holy Raw as well. So we get to hear lots of different types of bands just by sharing a label with other bands, and that's really good, I think. So we've toured with quite a mix.
Yeah, I mean, we play Crush shows, we've played some metal shows, and screamo shows and stuff, and it doesn't feel like the people who go to these things are actually that different. I think there's a lot of people who are just into all these different kinds of genres, and I think that's really cool. I mean,
there's no judging or anything. A lot of all the crowds are just massively into music, so it's just nice to play to the people that are there because they love that music.
And kind of from like your inception, obviously your sound's kind of stayed similar, but obviously music progresses naturally anyway. But from inside the band, this is obviously more kind of aimed at Mark and Liam. How have you seen, like, from the inside looking out, that Svalbard has progressed and changed? Have you seen it change dramatically, or has it just kind of been little tweaks here and there?
I don't think we can answer that question because we're inside. It doesn't. I've never thought. This Svalbard, I've never thought about a direction. It's just been like a very natural kind of process, and so therefore, I can hear a change between the first release and now, but I can't. I'm too close to it to pinpoint why or how.
We're just becoming more comfortable playing together as well. So I think we're experimenting a little bit more. So the new songs we're writing now are a lot more experimental than the first couple of releases, which were quite straight up fast.
Yeah.
heavy tunes, but now we have a lot of dynamics. There's always been dynamics with the music, but we're adding more intricacies and things now because we've been writing together for a while.
Yeah. And that kind of rolls on nicely to my next question. Obviously, recently you put out the discography, which is obviously all your earlier stuff.
Yeah.
For some people that might be a bit cynical, say, why are you doing a discography when you're still going, so to say, and you've only just done one full length? But why did you feel the need that you wanted to put that stuff back out and potentially to a new audience that hadn't heard it earlier on?
Is that a cynical person you?
No, not at all. Not in the slightest.
It's just because everything sold out.
Okay.
And I think a lot of new people liked us because of the album, and people assumed, or Alex assumed, that people would want to own copies of that stuff. And it's good for us because it gives us something to sell when we're on tour. You can be cynical if you want. I think the people who are cynical like that are usually just people who pick apart, bands at every opportunity. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a discography because they're not available anymore.
Yeah.
And people might want to own them, and we've sold quite a few every night, so obviously people do want them. I know I'd want one if I could get hold of stuff. If I've got turned on to a band after their first album, they'd done a few 7-inches and stuff, and then they weren't available anymore.
Yeah.
I'd want to get hold of it.
Well,
stuff. Yeah.
like I said to you, I think before we set off, I think the only thing of yours I don't own now is your original 7-inch. So.
Yeah, so you just have to buy the discography. So.
Well, there you go. And to kind of wrap everything up, because we all probably want to go to bed now. I know you obviously overhearing talk in the band, sort of writing towards a second album.
Yeah.
So what? Aside from that, have you got any sort of plans to other tours, sort of later on in the year, or is it just taking time out to write and record now?
Well, let me give you.
You give me an exclusive.
An exclusive scoop.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No, we're just. It's really boring. It's just logistics at the moment.
Okay.
It's like working out what we need to decide when we can record. Basically, at the moment we've got 2 songs. We need to finish these shows and then start writing. Write a couple more songs, then we'll have a good idea of when we can actually record. Book that in, work out when it can come out, and then we can start booking shows again. But we're gonna have a bit of downtime at the moment.
Yeah. So. Cool. Brilliant. Well, unless there's anything else you guys particularly want to add.
Can we go to bed now, Tim?
If you so wish, Adam. Thank you very much for what is the time? Is it like?
It's not bad
I think it's like 1 o'clock maybe.
It's about, can we
20 to 2?
20 to 2.
Can we unshackle Adam now?
We can unshackle Adam. Thank you guys for. Thanks for putting up for me and doing this for me.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thanks for putting up with us.
Thanks.
Doing a great job.
So there you have it, episode 1 in the bag. Thanks again to the guys from Svalbard for taking the time to sit down at stupid o'clock in the morning in Paris with me to have a little chat. And it was really cool to sort of hear about the guys. Obviously, I've known them for ages, but it was nice to actually kind of hear how they started and that they're still so humble, even though they're going really strong. If you're unaware of Svalbard's music, which if you are, then you're pretty crazy, but you can find them on all social media outlets. On Facebook, if you search Svalbard UK, it will come up. On Twitter, it is @SvalbardBand, and on Instagram, if you just search Svalbard, it will come up. The guys will be doing a few shows with the awesome Oathbreaker in the upcoming weeks, starting this Friday in London at the Camden Underworld. And then there's a bit of a gap, so then they're doing Leeds on the 26th, Manchester on 27th, Brighton on the 28th, and finishing off in Bristol on the 29th. If you want to give me any feedback on this inaugural podcast, I'd really appreciate it. I know sound quality and everything may not be the best because I have very cheap equipment, but hey ho, I'm learning. You can find me on Facebook if you just search Just an Insight. On Twitter, it's just_an_insight, and you can leave me a comment using the hashtag JAIPod, or you can email me at just_an_insight@hotmail.co.uk. That's pretty much it for this episode. Next time out, I sat down and had a chat with Andy Maddox from The Saddest Landscape. Really insightful to kind of hear how that band's been going, considering they've just celebrated 15 years being a band, which is absolutely crazy. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening, and I will see you soon.